Welcome back, everybody. Will Worsham joins us now for this week's Speaking Legal Discussion. You guys have met. You know each other.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
now, I just have to tell you, Will brought this board in because Jeremy wanted him to show him how to break it. And I'm not going to attempt this. You know, Jeremy would probably just make a welcome sign out of this and hang it above his door, wouldn't you think? But we'll do that another time.
Okay.
All right, so we've got a question for Will. Terry, what is it?
We do. Now, I don't understand how hiring a lawyer for an accident case helps me. I mean, if they take a percentage of the settlement, does that leave me short paying all the medical bills?
Well, yeah, that makes sense. It's a good question because people would maybe think that if they're supposed to get this amount of money and the lawyer takes a part of it, then they're going to be short on their bills.
Right.
But realistically, what you have to understand is that when you have a personal injury case, there's three different types of damages, at least, that you're going to be recovering for. First of all is your property damage, the damage of your car or any personal property that was damaged, lost in the automobile accident. Second of all, you're going to get paid back for any medical expenses. Additionally, lost wages, that's actually a fourth one. If you miss any work, you can get that back. Wonderful. But the fourth thing that you get paid for, you get compensated for, is your pain and suffering. So you're hurt. You know, you're in pain. You suffer from some period of time, maybe the rest of your life, because of that accident. So you get a monetary settlement for that pain and suffering. So that's where the lawyer's fee comes out of. The percentage of the entire recovery is generally going to be paid out of that pain and suffering because typically that's going to be the largest part of that settlement anyway.
Well, how do you prove that though? Because if you know, say you're off work for just a very short time, or maybe you're not even off work. How do you prove pain and suffering?
Right. Well, first of all, there's some certain assumptions. We know that if you suffer injury, you're going to be in pain.
Right.
So that's going to happen. So you look at, is this soft tissue damage as opposed to broken bones, things like that. So those are certain the things we look at, but it's hard, like you said, it's hard to just put a dollar figure on that. So there are certain kind of standards that people sort of assume. And you look at the way cases have settled and what jury awards have been in similar cases around the country and around your area, and that's what allows insurance companies or lawyers to kind of value the case. So they can look at if somebody in your area took their case to trial, had a jury determine what their damages were, including pain and suffering, then that sort of is a guide that the lawyers and insurance company can use as to what might happen if you put your case in front of a jury trial. And of course, after 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of this, there's a big pile of data that insurance companies and lawyers can rely on to say, generally in this type of a case, this is what a reasonable settlement is going to be.
Now, in pain and suffering, say if someone now has a phobia of driving or riding in a car, that would be pain. And that's mental anguish. So that could be factored into that as well?
It could be. You'd have to document that correctly, which means you'd want to have a psychologist or psychiatrist opinion, diagnosis, and ongoing treatment for that to demonstrate that that is something that you are suffering, not something that maybe you made up. Because that's kind of the elephant in the room here is, are we really being honest about what our suffering and pain and all that is? And that's where sometimes private investigators get hired to follow plaintiffs around to make sure that they really are suffering from all the things they claim.
And what about this? How many times do you hear this where people, you know, like 5 years down the road, I've got arthritis in my neck. How do you factor that in?
Well, it's something that you have to take into consideration. Now, the law allows a 5-year statute of limitations on filing an auto accident injury case. So you can wait a significant period of time, and most good personal injury lawyers, we're going to tell you, let's not be too quick to settle this case. Let's not get in a hurry. And of course, there's a little push and pull on that because you've got medical bills, maybe you've got lost wages, but settling too soon, you may not have fully realized all the effects of that injury down the road. Sometimes you get into situations where there might be TMJ later, or arthritis, like you said, or something that crops up later down the road. So you have to kind of take that in consideration. Of course, we rely on our medical experts to help us predict that as well.
Right. So if you've settled, then if you get the arthritis later, it's too late.
Yeah. Once you've settled your case, then you've settled it. That's the incentive on the other side to be done with it.
Now, Will, on TV, where we are right now, we are sometimes inundated with a lot of commercials from lawyers for said situations. How could we maybe get a list of really good lawyers that we say, this is the one to trust, this is the one that's going to be working for you, as opposed to, I'm just here for the settlement and I don't care about you?
Right. Yeah. The best way to pick a lawyer is to go talk to them. I mean, you're entering into a fairly significant trust relationship with an attorney. So the best thing you can do is sit down with that lawyer face to face, interview them, and make sure this is somebody that you like. You're going to be spending some time with this person, and if you don't like them right off the bat, it doesn't matter what their reputation is, how good you think they are. That's not a relationship you probably want to enter into. The second thing is look at their track record, and that's hard to determine because sometimes settlement, they may sound good to you,
Right. On paper.
but they may not be good. A lot of times you'll see lawyers saying, hey, we settle cases quickly. Well, like we just said, maybe that's
You don't
not
wanna
it.
do that,
You
yeah.
may not want to do that. Is this a law firm that goes to trial? Have they fought? Have they gone to court and really tried cases on behalf of their clients, or they just settle every case that comes along?
And how many do they win also?
And you know, win is kind of one of those funny terms in the legal field, because maybe you tried this case and you turned down a $200,000 settlement and you won a verdict, but it was only $50,000. Did you really win?
Right.
No.
Maybe not.
All right, Will, thank you so much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
All right, Ozarks Live will be right back after this.